So I know that when you got the call to do Baskets, you were resistant because you'd never done any sort of acting before. What do you think that Zach Galifianakis saw in you?
I still don't know. I really feel like he's like a fairy godmother who just called. When I got his message, his voicemail about the pilot, I was having kind of a bad day and I was living with my parents and I had taken my dog for a walk and came back and got the message and I just couldn't believe it.
I mean, it had been a while since you guys had really spent any time together, right? But he just obviously had this impression of you that he remembered, that he thought would work well.
Yeah, I don't know why he thought that, but I'm so happy that he did, for sure.
Obviously, there's character traits that sort of echo your own, your comportment or your manner, for lack of a better term, because that is so closely tied to who you are. Does that make it difficult to read reviews or hear like fan reaction to the show?
Only when people say mean stuff. If someone says something mean on Twitter, I just, instead of answering, I just block them, because then in my mind, they don't know that they hurt my feelings. They just never, I disappear. Mostly people are nice about it. I think that the writers, including Zach and Jonathan Kreisel, I think they make it so that the character is just always in the sweet spot of being a even-keeled, nice person. So it doesn't draw a lot of angry responses from people. I'm certain some people are put to sleep by the character, but maybe they don't wake up and write a bad review. I don't know.
Yeah, they just sleep forever. Probably.
Yeah, it kills them, actually.
Since it is so closely tied to yourself, how much input do you have into developing Martha as a character?
Well, Zach said after we did the pilot, but before we shot the rest of season 1, that, because I was concerned about some things, and he said, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, that makes you uncomfortable. I went into the writer's room one day during season 1 writings period, and then had like a Skype with them one day on season 2 in the writer's room. The input I have is just like, I might say, can I change this line and word it differently in a way that would feel more natural to me. But mostly I get to just enjoy what the writers come up with, even though it's sort of a character sort of based on parts of my personality. I feel they do a way better job of developing that character than I would, and I'm glad that it's not my responsibility to do that.
So where do you see your character going from here? I mean, what do you think? What do you see for the future of Martha?
I don't know, because some people watch stuff on streaming and haven't seen it. I'll just say spoiler alert about how season 2 ends, with them buying the rodeo. I would love it if next season, when they're starting the Baskets rodeo, if I get to have some minor storyline of just hanging out with some of the animals. I asked specifically if we could get some goats, but I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do, because in season 1, the reason it gets shut down is because of the Humane Society. They are going to be faced with that problem of like, well, how are we going to open and back up a rodeo with animals? So
I mean, they can just put writers in the cages.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
you could tend to the writers.
Especially if they can't work because there's a strike.
Right.
They could just hang out.
When are you going to get that cast off?
I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to address why it's there or if it's ever coming off.
Maybe that's the finale?
Maybe, I don't know. I think that it started just with Zach randomly just saying it'd be really funny if I'm yelling at this person who's got a cast on. We talked about a couple possible reasons why it might have happened, but it didn't make it into the pilot, and then they just kind of ignore it, which is kind of funny to me.
But you have to put it on every time.
Yeah, but it slips on and off. It's really comfortable.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of forget. I'm usually surprised when people ask about it because I forget about it, but I can see why it's a weird thing that people would be curious about.
I just feel sorry for you every time I watch it, because I'm like, oh, she has to wear that cast out in Bakersfield, California, and surely it's sweaty and uncomfortable.
The thing about acting is that everyone on the set bends over backwards to prevent even a moment of discomfort for any precious actor. So there's not a lot of like oh God, I'm dying in the heat. Rarely. Like sometimes when we shoot places where everybody's outside, but then they're like, everyone's working really hard, all the crew, and then the actors are just sitting in the shade, but people are rushing to hold a fan up to you. It's really, it's the easiest, best paid, fun job. I believe actors get treated a lot better than what they do deserves. I shouldn't say that.
Well, it's out there.
I mean, I just feel like the crew are the people who really work, which includes like Jonathan Kreisel is the director, and Zach is one of the producers. So those guys work hard, but I don't, and I feel guilty about it. So I'm criticizing all actors, I guess. What a wonderful way to end.
Yeah, what a great note to end on. Thank you, Martha, for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Sean.